Screen a little bigger here. All right, everybody. Hello. I know it's going to be like a 10-second delay. There's always those commercials, and we
I always forget about that delay, and then my video makes no sense the first couple of minutes.
yeah, I know. So the commercial, I'm guessing, is ending about now. So, hello, everybody. Hopefully, your commercial has ended, and you're not catching me midway through the introduction here. But we have two very excited guests, I think, or at least I was excited, and I'm sure they were when they got their news. But they hit some milestones. Two other cruise creators. We have Andrew and Josh. Andrew from Funnel Heads and Josh from Moonlight
Hey, everybody.
Adventures. And yeah, we're going to talk some cruising. We're going to talk about their adventures, to get to this point and the things that they're doing. And if you haven't checked them out already, to go check them out. But I'm Brad. I'm the host of Coach Cruise. We got the mascot Sadie over here eating up some treats, and we got Cruise World checking in. What's going on? Yeah, he's
What's up, Mark?
And some sun, and I saw John Bourbon and having an interview there with Mark yesterday. That was
he did a pretty good job, I think. Got to keep him focused. He was really, worried so much about Peggy Sue. But yeah, he has a hard time focusing sometimes.
Yeah, that was a fun interview, though. I enjoyed watching that. And when's Gunner next appearing on the Moonlight Adventures?
We're going to have some Gunner Wayne and Peggy Sue stuff tomorrow night on our celebration at 8. So.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody out there, you can tune in for that one. And then so let me backtrack here a second. So I wanted to have Andrew and Josh on the show today, and this is a makeup show. Normally my show is Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central. So I know some of you will be watching this on replay. A lot of you will be watching this on replay, and I thank those of you that are popping in. But so Andrew just hit 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think it was last week, right? Or a few days ago?
Yeah, it was about a week ago, give or take. So it was really exciting. We didn't make the goal for the end of the year, but that's okay. It was kind of a unrealistic goal just to push it forward. But yeah, we were super excited to hit it. So.
And Josh and Chastity from the Moonlight Adventures, they've been pushing to hit 1,000 at the same time that Andrew was pushing it at 2, and they just hit theirs recently as well. So, so what kind of, do you guys do any celebration, any dinner, any kind of thing to celebrate the occasion? Or
we did a little pop-up live, and we took some shots of Blanton's. I had a bottle of Blanton's that was sealed until the day. So yeah, we hit that a little bit, but the big celebration will be tomorrow night. We've got some champagne, and we're going to be giving away all kinds of gifts that are 1,000 pieces of this or 1,000th of that, or so yeah, we're here at Duncan's right now getting some treats and also some gifts for tomorrow. So
nice, that's awesome.
Yeah, but hey, Andrew, you're wearing an Alaska shirt.
Yeah,
we're twinsies.
Hey, there you go. I knew I liked you.
We got another Josh checking in. Have luggage will travel. Josh and Amanda.
Over there. What's going on, guys?
What's up? They're saying congrats to you all on the milestones.
Thank you, guys.
And Tim G is here. What is going on, Tim? Tim is one of our biggest supporters, most loyal. Been on a cruise with Tim, did a bar crawl with Tim. Appreciate you popping in, Tim, for this normally unscheduled Saturday afternoon live. So, well, Andrew, let's start with you.
All right.
I know we started roughly about the same time. I think I started like in earnest a little before you, because I remember you reaching out and us talking or whatever. But tell us about the start of your journey to where you are now at 2,000 subscribers, how it's gone to this point, what type of cruisers you think you cater to, and all those good things.
Yeah, I mean, it's been one heck of a journey. I mean, I know or knew literally nothing about technology, computers, editing software, cameras. I hated to be on camera. I hated to hear my voice, and I still don't like to hear my voice. But I've gotten over that, and it took me probably 10 years to actually commit to making a channel and kind of getting on, just because I didn't want, people to judge and stuff. So I wish I would have started it long time ago, but better late than never, as they say. But we have learned an incredible amount in the last, year and a half that we've been doing it. And Rhett now likes to get in front of the camera. He does his little videos. He watches, cruise recaps, our little vlogs and recaps of every vacation that we've been on. He watches them on repeat, so he can remember everything. And I wouldn't trade it in for anything. So we're going to keep going. Whatever happens, happens. But worst case scenario is, we have all this footage, for the future, and we can watch it as a family together. But I think as far as like who we cater to, I would like to say it's a lot of new cruisers, first time or haven't cruised in a while that, are wanting information, especially those with small children, because obviously they see Rhett, who will be 6 in March, bopping around on the ship. And so we like to think that, we put out information that people like to watch, listen to, and also, maybe convinced that, they've never been on a cruise and they're kind of on the edge of, should we try it? Shouldn't we? And maybe we just give them that little nudge to do their first cruise. So I think that's kind of what we're about. And that was the whole our whole purpose of building the community to begin with.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Andrew, like I said, we've Andrew and I's channels, I think, have kind of grown at similar rates, the past year or so, and I know we've definitely been on each other's. Well, Andrew's been on the show several times. I'm sure you've seen Andrew in the past, those of you that are regulars to my show, and Josh as well, who we'll get to in just a second here. I just want to say hi to Will G, who's just coming off a cruise. He posted some great pictures on the Coach Cruise Facebook page. And Rayleigh Creative Travels also here. We also have Paul Pasto is here, who watches all 3 of our channels. So that's awesome. Says he enjoys all of our shows. So we appreciate that. And Josh, I want to ask, Chastity, I don't know if she's commented on this, but Josh, Gunnar, and John, who is her preferred male figure in the Moonlight Adventures programming?
Well, I mean, me, of course, but between, I mean, she sleeps with me every night, so that. But no, but between Gunnar and John, I think she favors John a little bit. I think he's more similar to me than Gunnar is. That Gunnar Wayne guy, man, you got to watch him. Just a little caveat to what you're going to see is they felt like they needed to be fancy because now we've hit 1,000 subscribers, so they think we're celebrities. And so they, one thing they did, they tried to pay our bills for us, and you'll get to see what happened with that. So
that's funny. So tell us your story and Chastity's, how you all got started and the length of this, the journey to this point. And one thing I will say, because I've been following you guys obviously for a few months and everything, and I'll go and I'll check out people's, how their subscriber thing is going. And I remember thinking like, man, why are they not getting more subscribers? Because I've really enjoyed, your guys' shows and watching your content and everything. And then I remember I almost have the figure in my head. I think it was 893. I looked just a couple weeks ago and I saw like, oh, 893. I'm like, Okay, well, they're only about 100 away, and then I mean, it seemed like days later, and then pow, you hit the
Yeah.
1,000 log jam finally broke, and then boom, 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 boom. You just jumped up like 100 subscribers in no time. So that was great. So yeah, tell us about the beginning till now, and where you plan on going and all that good stuff.
So this was kind of a Lemony Snicket's unexpected kind of thing, right? Our son, so we had been Disney people from the beginning, and we watched channels like Paige and Mr. Morrow and Molly, allears.net, and all those kind of things. And we were 2 or 3 times a year Disney folks, and that's really what we enjoyed doing. And then when our children got older, and then the pandemic happened, that kind of canked our ability to go as often as we would like. So our youngest son, he said, instead of going to Disney, I think I'd like to take a cruise for my senior trip. And we're like, okay, well, that's interesting. I mean, we have a cruise port right here in Norfolk. Let's give it a shot. So we signed up or booked a cruise for June of last year. And in January of last year, Chastity said, well, you know what? We should probably go on one of these as a sample and make sure, we need to learn a little bit about it. And we fell in love with it. And we were watching a lot of SCT. I watched some of your stuff, Coach. And then, of course, Tony's stuff was popping up at the time. And Island Time, Derek was another one that we watched quite a bit of to begin with. And but we, for whatever reason, we kind of bonded with Greg and started talking to him. And so we're on the Carnival Valor, and we come back one night, and there's a pack of cookies from Cherry on Top in there from Greg and Felicia, who we really didn't know. We were just acquaintances through Facebook. And between that, the love of cruising and the love of that 4-day cruise, we just fell in love with cruising. And so from there, we've been on 4 cruises now. We went on 4 last year. We've got one coming up in March, and we're going to book at least 3, maybe 4 more for next year, and that'll continue on. But
Hey, not to interrupt you, I want you to keep going, but look into that August 5th out of Norfolk, the Magic. I think we talked about it once.
Yeah, that's probably one we're going to target. I think Lauren Lives Life. I believe that she's going on that one as well, potentially. So there could be a few catching that one, and we need to get our friend Andrew talked into jumping on that one as well.
There you go. We could make it a big cruise. We could make it the second vloggers cruise.
Yeah, hang out with Rhett for a little bit, try to spoil him, man.
Oh, he would love it. Oh my gosh. Careful what you wish for, though. This will be attached to your hip.
Fast forward to a few days ago, and I'm getting into. Well, I actually woke up that morning and we had 930 some odd subscribers, and I went and did my morning routine. I came back and I checked, and I was like, "Holy crap, we're at 950." So I wake Chastity up, and by this time we're at 960 something, and I'm like, "Hey, I think today's going to be the day." She's like, "No way, we're still too far away." I was like, "I don't know. I think it's going to happen." And people started noticing how close we were. Blaine was one of those. You guys, a number of different people, and they started pumping out to their people. Hey, go subscribe. They're super close. Turn around, and we gained like 150 some odd subscribers. Just boom, just happened. And
it's amazing.
Yeah, it was. I'm a lot of hard work, a lot of hours. And everybody says that like it's a chore. It's not, but it's still work nonetheless, right? And you feel like you've done something. It's a little bit different achievement, because up until this point, every achievement I've ever had has either been for myself or my family. But you feel like it's an achievement that's helped other people in some way, shape, or form, and that's kind of cool, right? So,
yeah, that's amazing. And it's such a silly thing. It's like 1,000 subscribers, but like to the normal person. But as a YouTube creator, it means everything. Like, it just means that all of the hard work that you had put in for however much time before that finally paid off, and like it's a culmination effect. So it's a
validation. It's a validation of there's legitness there, right? And YouTube believes in you, and a group of people believe in you and support you. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm moving to get in the sun. It's kind of chilly in the shade.
well, and the cruise community is so awesome too. I mean, there's a few people here. We got fellow cruise creators. We got Have Luggage Will Travel. Tim G's here. Will G's here. Rayleigh Creative Travel. Will G, Paul, and Tex, and all of those guys, with the exception of Paul and some of the creators, I've had the privilege of cruising with. But it's that support that you get, and I know all of those guys have thanked me for what content I put out, and I know some of them watch your shows as well and appreciate it, and it really does help because their support. I think I was talking with Derek and Andrew and I were talking before. The views don't get near what you would hope you might get. Like, for example, I got a video I was looking at, a tour of the glory that I did. It's got about 20,000 views. And you would think like, oh, wow, 20,000 views. You make, a couple $100 on that in views or whatever. And it's like $13.50 or something like that, in revenue. So, I mean, if you're not churning out videos that are getting hundreds of thousands of views, you're really not making this. So it is more of a very fun hobby. But, when you get support from some of the gentlemen, like I just mentioned, and the other cruise creating channels, and they've helped out in various means via super chat or just, comments, that kind of give you motivation and keep you going and things like that. So definitely big thanks to the cruise community for keeping that gas tank filled with, positivity and, support and all those different things, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes my day, just waking up, looking at the subscriber count. Hopefully it went up overnight. And then, just seeing even just one comment that was like, hey, really appreciate the video or learn something or whatever. I mean, that's everything. So I would say, anytime I go to a channel, specifically a smaller channel that's less than 1,000, if I'm watching a video, I want to make sure that I make a comment, because there's a lot of creators that don't make it to the 1,000 because they just gave up along the way. And I know me and Coach specifically have talked a few times during the initial year about our frustrations and this and that, and at the end of the day, it's those comments that really push you to move forward.
Yeah, and the milestones for sure, and Josh, and I don't know, that 1,000 I guess is probably the biggest one, because I mean it gets you become official member of the club, so to speak. It's that validity, I mean it just validates. Well, to me it did. That's how I felt about it. Just kind of validated, what I was doing, what I was working for, and so that was a big thing. And I mean, I know when I hit my 2,000 just recently, that was another big. And then it's just like you got to keep setting a new goal, new goal. So speaking of new goals, Andrew just hitting 2,000, and Josh, I'll share mine before I ask you, but I got a goal of hitting 3,000. It's actually on the banner before July. Reason being is July would be my 2-year anniversary. So. Okay. We're about 800 away. So if we can get 800 new subscribers by July, hit 3,000 before that 2-year anniversary, I would be pretty pumped about that.
Or today, or any time between now and then.
Yeah. 800 of you out there that watch this on replay want to hit the subscribe button. Appreciate it very much. So Andrew, what's your next goal for the channel?
So I don't have a mid-year goal, but I have a goal of how I'm going to be putting out videos moving forward. And then my end of the year goal, I'm actually shooting for 5,000. And It's going to be a difficult goal, but we've got a lot of cruises coming up. We've got a lot of events, and my kind of schedule with videos. So if I stick to it, hopefully we'll hit it. But yeah, it's kind of a lofty one, but we're going to go ahead and give it a try.
Yeah, I guess my target's too low. Then I need to start thinking big like you, or like 5,000. Damn, man.
Or we follow each other anyway, so whatever you hit, I'm sure I'll hit it shortly after, and vice versa.
All right, Josh. So what about you and Chastity?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, following up Andrew, but it's just looking at the different targets. Our next target has always been after 1,000 to hit $5,000. So, if we can achieve that by our next year's anniversary, would be fantastic. It's a lofty goal, but shoot for the moon, or shoot for the stars, and hopefully you'll land on the moon, right? So,
that's right.
Going to go for it.
All right. Well, you guys are motivating me. I'm going to have to reevaluate my goals. Apparently, I'm not a positive enough thinker.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, if you do 3,000 by July, then you could aim for 6,000 by the end of the year. So,
okay. Just keep on doubling. It's like
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Very cool. Well, look, I got some would you rather questions here for you guys, and anybody in the chat, everybody in the chat. As a matter of fact, I know we don't have a ton of people in the chat right now, a lot of cruise creators, but and some strong supporters that we love and cherish here. So since the NFL playoffs are in full go, and Andrew, I think you're a Jets fan, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, you guys did better than the Raiders. There's some talk you might be in play for Derek Carr, our old quarterback.
Honestly, I would accept. I would like Derek Carr on the Jets. I think you guys, the team around him, kind of did him dirty. He's a good quarterback, though.
Yeah, he is. He is. I mean,
you don't need Stetson Bennett. You need a leader like Stetson Bennett. That's what you need. Get him.
Well,
get him C2 in like the 8th round.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to that. There's some guys like that maybe they don't have all the intangibles or whatever, but they're just winners, and somehow, some way, they find a way. Who's your NFL team, Josh?
So I don't really follow that much, but I've always picked an AFC and an NFC team. So, our NFC team is, of course, the Falcons. It sucks. It is what it is. And then the Titans on the AFC side, because of the time we spent at Fort Campbell, we became Nashville Titans fans.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, so here's my would you rather, and I guess and thoughts regarding the NFL playoffs going on. Would you rather go to the Super Bowl and watch your favorite team compete in the Super Bowl, or a Game 7 in your other favorite sport, be that baseball, hockey, basketball, whatever? So we're talking pro sports here. So whether it's pro basketball, pro baseball, pro hockey, would you rather go to the Super Bowl and watch your favorite team, or a Game 7 in one of those other pro sports? And if it is a Game 7, what sport and what team?
So I mean, even though I'm a huge Jets fan and they haven't been in the Super Bowl forever, going to that would be amazing. But I absolutely love hockey, and I would go to a Game 7 New Jersey Devils all day long. I mean, I'm such a passionate hockey fan. I watch any teams play hockey, and so I wouldn't trade that for anything.
All right, very cool. How about you, Josh?
Game 7. Atlanta Braves in the World Series.
There you go. All right. You know what? This is a really, really tough one for me because I'm a diehard Chicago Cubs fan and I'm a diehard Raiders fan. I have never been to a Super Bowl. I have been to an NFL playoff game when I was young, but we had seats way up. Maybe it would be dependent upon where the seats were, but if the seats were about the same, man, that's tough. And you know what? Here's the thing that I regret so much. I had the opportunity to go to a Game 7, Cleveland versus the Cubs, and I would have had to call in sick for work. The ticket, a single game ticket, would have cost me about $500, which I'd pay 5 times that now to go back, maybe 10 times that, if I knew the result. but I would have had to drive, like 7 hours to Cleveland. And then, I was already away from work. Well, long story short, I didn't go and I regret it. So I blew that opportunity already, but yeah, that's such a tough call for me. I'd probably go Super Bowl Raiders. Maybe it's just because the Cubs won recently in 2016, so I still have that. I mean, if they still hadn't won, I probably would have picked the Cubs, but yeah. Oh, we got Tim. Tim's been to Super Bowl 40. Yeah, I mean, I think that's such a cool thing to go. And Tex has voted Super Bowl. Rayleigh Creative Travel said go Braves as well. So he's right there with you, Josh. Tex, what Super Bowl team are you going for? Jamie says neither. She'd sell her tickets.
If that's an option, I would sell and then go on a cruise, honestly.
Yeah, there you go. The Cruise World. Let's get them up here. If the Lions ever make the Super Bowl, it's that one hands down, and the seats doesn't matter, all about the atmosphere, and the Lions win. Well, I will say this. I was so mad at the referees because I wanted the Lions to make the playoffs. And I was watching that Seattle Rams, and the refs bailed out Seattle so much with horrible calls and non-calls during that game to allow Seattle to come back and win it. But and then the Lions go on and beat Green Bay. I mean, and the Lions should have made the playoffs.
I think the Lions would have made some noise if they made the playoffs. They
may have. They really did. I've always rooted for the Lions because it's kind of like that underdog. That you got to love them. It's kind of like the Cubs were for years. I think people kind of rooted for the Cubs because they sucked for so long. It's like, come on, Cubbies. They're just these adorable. You can do it, And yeah, so I mean, that's kind of the way I feel about the Lions. And my favorite running back of all time, Barry Sanders. I mean, he's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
He was just ridiculous. And I couldn't believe he retired. He retired so young. I feel like we got cheated out of a couple of years or more of Barry Sanders just going crazy. But yeah, so all right. So that was a good start. This next one's kind of simple. And if you haven't been to one of these locations, just trade it out for one or one other one that you think might be comparable. But ports, Grand Turk or St. Thomas?
Ooh.
Grand Turk or St. Thomas. And if you haven't been to one of those ports, just sub it out with something else.
They're both so beautiful. So, I mean, I would say St. Thomas because there's so much more you can do in St. Thomas as far as like activities, excursions. It's kind of like an all-in-one island. You can really do anything there. Grand Turk, you have options, but what we typically do is either the beach for the day, or we've done scuba diving there, which is of course amazing. You could also do catamaran, snorkel, all that stuff. But there is a lot more opportunity in St. Thomas. So I would say St. Thomas for sure.
Okay. How about you, Josh?
So I haven't been to either one, but given the choice, just because it seems like St. Thomas doesn't seem to come up as often on itineraries, I think I'd have to take St. Thomas.
Yeah. It's beautiful it's very mountainous, which a lot of the islands aren't. So you get that. I just remember riding a little taxi all the way up the mountain and you see, the cruise ships off in the distance. It just takes your breath away. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And you know what? I just recently went to St. Thomas while on the Magic. As a matter of fact, Josh, there's another reason for you to go. I think it's going to St. Thomas, that August 5th one. St. Thomas and St. Martin.
In case you needed a reason to go.
Yeah. You ain't got to do much talking in. I love the Magic. It's going out of my home port. Hey.
Well, that'll be fun. We always get a day early, so we'll definitely have to hook up and do dinner or something. The night before that, and then right after that cruise, I'm right back to work. Like that Monday, start professional development, the teachers and all that stuff. So. You know what? Maybe it's just to be different, but I'm gonna go Grand Turk just because probably convenience. St. Thomas, Megan's Bay Beach, and I think it's Koki Beach or whatever, just absolutely beautiful beaches. Like I said, I just did a vlog on in Megan's Bay on Thanksgiving cruise, if anybody wants to go back. And I absolutely love St. Thomas. It's absolutely beautiful. But the thing I love about Grand Turk is you wake up, you look out the window, and all you see is beach. And not just beach, but beautiful beach. Some ports you go to, the water's dark. You can't, but I mean, Grand Turk, it's crystal clear, blue water. I mean, you can see to the bottom like 10, 12 feet. Some places probably even more. And you don't have to do anything. No. Like a lot of places you go to, you have to book an excursion and, you got to go out and do, which is fine, but I mean, you like Andrew, you just said, we always just make it a beach day at Grand Turk. It's so easy. You just walk off the ship and boom, you are at the beach. You don't need to take a taxi. You don't need to do anything. You just are there. You
literally don't have to spend a dime in Grand Turk if you don't want to. You just go to the beach, grab a chair. They're free. Bring a towel. You're good to go. You spend 6-8 hours, however long the cruise ship's in port, and just hang out, have a beautiful day. So yeah.
Well, limited amounts of chairs are free, but
that's true. Get off the ship early, or go much later in the day.
But I although you could do that and not spend a dime, I encourage spending some dimes on a big bucket of beer, or two, and in an umbrella, and and then take some pictures while you're in the water with the ship behind you, which is one of the intros on my coach cruise. If anybody's wondering where the picture is with the Mardi Gras behind me, that is Grand Turk, that crystal clear water there with when I'm wearing my sunglasses. So yeah, we got Ted checking in. What's going on, check? Ted, check. What am I saying? Let's see. Jamie says we're doing underwater motor scooters in St. Thomas in October. Went on the Venetia.
Oh, nice.
And Jamie, I don't know if you heard, but Derek and Amanda, they are going on the Venetia, the transatlantic. So they might be getting off when you all are getting on. And yeah, I'm actually going to pick them up at the Midway Airport and run them over to the O'Hare Airport for their international flight. So that'll be cool. Cruise World says, Grand Turk for us. Like Coach said, the beach is right there. All right. So I got somebody that agrees with me. Danny D, the super supporter. We need more super supporters in our lives. Oh my, that's the amazing Josh from Moonlight Adventures. Yes, it is. And Cheryl's chiming in, Grand Turk, one of my favorites. All right, so we got some Grand Turk love. Early on, it was all St. Thomas, which is understandable. And we have Christy.
You can't go wrong with either of those, honestly, but they're both beautiful.
Yeah, we got Christy, and Christy just checked in. I saw her on Facebook today. She was flying, I think, from Atlanta to New Orleans, and I don't know what ship they're going on, but they are about to board a ship. I'm guessing it's tomorrow, and yeah, they're going cruising. So yeah, Christy, put your ports down and what ship you're on, if you don't mind. Ted is cruising the Vista in April, so that's coming up. I'll be on the Horizon in April, which is a sister ship to the Vista. And yeah. Okay, so let's do our next Would You Rather. All right, so this one, the Seafood Shack is a la carte pricing. For example, lobster rolls like $18. A pound of peel and eat shrimp, I think, is probably about $18, somewhere roughly. Oysters, when I went recently, I think it was $1.75 an oyster.
Something like that.
But, they have various prices. I mean, they have all different kinds of seafood. So here is the Would You Rather. $45 to spend at the Seafood Shack, or dinner for two at either Cucina or Gigi's. $45 worth of seafood from the Seafood Shack, or dinner for two from Cucina. And everybody watching, throw in the comments what your choice would be.
So I would 100% do Seafood Shack, like 100%. My wife might not be too happy, but she does not like seafood, but that's okay. She could do like a pizza salad day or whatnot, but I always do oysters, usually a dozen, and then I do a pound of the peel and eat shrimp, and oh man, I smell like seafood for about 12 hours afterwards, but it's the best. We do it every single cruise one night. So although Cucina and Gigi's is amazing as well, and I'd be happy eating there. But
all right, well, I'll tell you what. So, what do you think, Josh?
I'm going Cucina, man. I love it. I love Cucina del Capitano. It's fantastic. That's too easy.
All right, well,
a Perino or whatever that beer is called. Yeah, I'm good.
I'll tell you what. This is pretty split. Andrew said seafood, then Ronnie said seafood. Rayleigh says Cucina. Christy said seafood. Will said seafood. Jamie seafood. Ted went with the dinner. And Kevin says it's a toss-up. Love both.
No love for Gigi's.
Kevin will let Jamie decide. Well, Jamie decided the seafood shack, Tech. So I guess you're going to the seafood shack. And Tim says Cucina. So that one was really split down the middle. You know what? Man, that's a tough one though. And that's why I did it. Would you rather? Because I figured it would be tough. I'm probably going seafood shack also. The peel and eat shrimp dipped in butter is a little bit of heaven with a nice cold beer.
Oh, yeah.
The lobster roll that we had on this most recent cruise was amazing. And I like their clam chowder in a bread bowl too. That's
I haven't had that yet, but I've always
it's only like $5. It's only $5. Yeah, you got to get that. Cruise World says Gigi's, and I am a big fan of Gigi's as well. Their what is it? The dessert with the creme brulee at the end of the meal is really good. They have this chicken soup that is amazing as part of the appetizers. The entrees are pretty standard to me. I mean, I like the kung pao beef or chicken, but yeah, that's a good spot. Okay, now here's another one. Here's another food one.
All right.
Now this one, it's one or a bunch. All right, so keep this in mind. Okay, so either the steakhouse, you go to the steakhouse one evening, just extravagant, treat yourself, you and your spouse, or you get to go to Cucina once or twice, or get to go to Cucina, Gigi's, and Bonsai Sushi. So it's 3 dinners or 1 steakhouse. Any combination of Cucina, Gigi's, and Bonsai Sushi. So you're trading 3 for 1. 3 for 1 here. Would you rather go to the steakhouse for one evening or have 3 separate evenings of Cucina, Gigi's, Bonsai Sushi, any combination of those 3? You can go to Cucina 3 times if you want, or 1 steakhouse. What is your choice?
I do the variety for sure. I mean, the steakhouse is amazing. Love me some steak, medium rare, but I can't give up all that awesome food for one night.
It is a lot. Okay, well, we got a couple timing in. Josh, what's your?
Yeah, I'm with Andrew, man. I'm going to take the variety, and I'm sure I can get a steak at one of those other restaurants too. This is a funny thing with us. So we have done 0 specialty dining on Carnival so far. So,
oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, our first time experiencing specialty dining was on Symphony of the Seas. So pretty excited. We learned after Symphony we've got to do more specialty dining because it is fantastic.
Yeah, even if it's just like one night for the cruise, just treat yourself, and it's really not that expensive. Especially, I mean, I would say the steakhouse is by far the most expensive, but if you go to Bonsai Sushi or Cucina, it's pretty inexpensive, even with the raised prices recently.
Yeah, you know what? I guess I'm a little different on this one. I love the steakhouse. I really do. I feel like. I mean, I do enjoy the sit down dinner, especially Cucina. I feel like I like probably Gigi's more than I do Cucina, one against each other. But I feel like the dining experience is better in Cucina than it is in Gigi's. Maybe it's because it's a larger restaurant. I don't know. But they did the little Italian dance and stuff on our most recent thing in Cucina. That was cute. I got a kick out of that. And I do enjoy some sushi at Bonsai.
Oh, that's amazing.
But the steakhouse, it's, I don't know. It's not the formal that gets me because I'm very not formal.
Right.
It's just the quality of the steak, and the appetizers are amazing. It's just, it's a dining experience that's just really good, and just one night to completely indulge. The cheesecake's amazing. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to go steakhouse. It seems like people are leaning, well, I don't know. This is pretty split, but I think people leaned a little more toward the steakhouse on this one.
Nice.
So I'm happy with my questions though, because they're
It's
going
a good balance. Yeah.
there's no clear winner on any of these questions. So all right, here's my final would you rather, and unless I can think up another one, or if you guys can think of one. So this one's pretty straightforward, simple, and it's because I had a really good experience at one of these places on my most recent cruise, if anybody watched the vlog. But Blue Iguana tacos and burritos or Guy's Burgers? Blue Iguana tacos and burritos or Guy's Burger? Where are you gonna go?
Probably Guy's Burger. Blue Iguana is always good, but I feel like in the last couple of years it's gotten a little less good, or maybe just my taste is changing. But Guy's Burger, you can order any which way you want. You can customize everything. Love all the sauces, so I'm going Guy's Burger.
Okay.
And I'm going with Blue Iguana. The arepas are fantastic. The carnitas are fantastic there. But the key, if you can do both, you go get a Guy's Burger and you get a little bit of that carnitas meat. You top that Guy's Burger with it. That's money right there. Buddy.
There you go. Thinking outside the box.
Yeah. Well, the only thing is, you do that, Josh, your food's going to be pretty cold, because those are usually pretty long lines. I guess what you could do.
I was actually dared to do that, and it just worked out perfect. Like there was no line. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I was going to say, you could have Chastity get in the burrito line. You could get in the Guy's line, and then you two meet up and divvy up the goods. Yeah. So no, that's a great idea. Let's see. So we got a lot of Guys. I figured Guys would win this one. Let's see. We got a lot of votes on this one. Rayleigh, Creative Travel says Guys. Cruise World, it's a tough one, but give me the burger. Tim says Guys. Kevin says Guys. Ronnie says Guys. Jamie says Guys. Christy says Blue Iguana. Cheryl, Guys, and she gives a specific burger, the new nacho burger. Will says Blue Iguana. Rayleigh says we love Blue Iguana breakfast burritos, but Guys at lunch for sure. Josh, I'm going to go with you on this one just because of my most recent experience. I just came off the Breeze not too long ago, and there was a Q&A with Lawrence, who's a wonderful cruise director. If you haven't got an opportunity out of Galveston, he was on the Breeze, but he's getting off soon. So if you haven't cruised with him yet, you'll meet up with him on some other ship. But he was saying in the Q&A his favorite thing to eat was to go to Blue Iguana and get the tacos and just load it up with, everything. And I mean, he was basically naming pretty much everything in the condiments. So he's like, get your cilantro, get your tomato, get your sour cream, get your, this, that, whatever. So I'm like, you know what? I haven't had tacos in a while. That sounds pretty good. I got in the line. It was the first time I've ever seen the line for Blue Iguana be longer than the line for Guy's Burgers.
Oh, wow.
I even put it on the video. If anybody goes to like my day four vlog on the Carnival Breeze, toward the end of that, I show the line for Guys and then the line for the Blue Iguana, and the Blue Iguana had longer lines. So maybe everybody else was at Q&A too.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, I got 3 or 4 tacos and I loaded them up, just like you said. I put everything on there, and I mean, stuff's falling out of them, biting into it or whatever. And it was fabulous. Those tacos were great. So if you haven't done the Blue Iguana recently on a cruise, make sure you hit that up. So one thing, and I forgot, I haven't mentioned this the whole time. I've enjoyed talking to you gentlemen so long. I didn't talk anything at all about super chats or anything, but Will G, I know, is here, and Tim G is here. And then we have Trisha as well. You guys are still down in the super chat thing. Sadie's here slobbering because she's been looking at this big plate of treats. So most of you that are here know how the super chat works. For any super chat donation, whatever, whatsoever, whether it's $1, you get your name entered on my sheet. Once we reach $100 worth of super chats, I go on my phone and I say, "Hey Siri, give me a random number, 1 to 100." And if your number corresponds to wherever you did the super chat, then you get the shirt. So for example, Will G is numbers 1 through 10, Trisha is 11 through 20, and Tim G is 21 through 40. Anybody that gives a $10 super chat, Sadie gets one of these big treats. In the meantime, to keep her from ripping apart my arm, I got little bites of cheese and little tiny pieces of salami that I give her to keep her here and interested. And then anybody that gives a $15 or more super chat, you get to treat me to a shot of bourbon, and this is pretty good. I got this at Costco. It's Debonair, 28 Mile Distilling Company, 92 proof, and this is really good. It's the first time I tried it. It won a couple gold medals at the World Spirits competition. It's a really good one. And Josh, I know you're a bourbon person, so if you see that one, I don't know if it's still at Costco. Sometimes you get those limited editions, but yeah. Oh, look, we even got Z checking in.
What up, Z?
Z made it. I don't think I've ever done a show that Z hasn't popped in. He's the most traveled cruise creator in the cruise industry. He is either in the chat or on the show or doing his own show. More than any, I don't think I'm wrong. I don't think anybody can contest that Z is part of more cruise shows than any cruise creator ever. Danny D, Sadie's so cute. Thank you. You're not so cute to me with the slobber hanging out of your mouth. Oh, Z, 14 days sober. Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations, Z. I mean, I was so proud of you,
brother. Keep going.
Yeah, I did not know you were doing that. I was gonna joke about you because you saying the professional this, but I'm gonna save that joke. Let's see. Kevin, getting back to our regularly scheduled program. He likes the street eats on Mardi Gras. And yeah, that is a cool thing. On the newer XL ships, the Mardi Gras and the Celebration, they have a section of little restaurants. I think it's about 4 different restaurants where they have different street eats. Like one section, has fries, and they just load up your fries with different meats and toppings and things like that. And yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then they have like steamed dumplings and some Asian stuff. And I don't know. Can you think of what else they have there, Andrew?
Yeah, they have like the kebabs a lot of times, and the shawarma sometimes. A whole bunch of just like finger foods, kind of grab and go, which we really enjoy being on the Lido deck. Like, sometimes we're like a little hungry and just want to grab a quick bite, but you don't want to stand on, a 30-minute line or whatever the case is. So it's a nice, thing to fill you up real quick until the lines die down.
All right, cool. And, you guys, you mentioned that you both have Alaska shirts on. I know, Andrew, you went to Alaska this past summer.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do a cruise, Josh, to Alaska? Or are you just a big fan of Alaska? Or?
No, actually, in 21, I was there in November for work, setting up for a flight test that we ended up doing this past summer in August. So it was land-based, though. So I was in Fairbanks, was able to go out to Denali and the North Pole. Had a great time.
Northern Lights? Were you able to see the Northern Lights? Oh, your mic's off. Hold on. Your mic was off on that part. Regarding the northern.
Oh yeah, I was able to go see the Northern Lights.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was incredible. Yeah, it was. I had to go up to I can't remember the name of the two, but in Fairbanks University, and it was absolutely beautiful.
Nice. Yeah, we missed them. We were a little early, but that's all right. Next time.
That's a bucket list thing for me. I want to see those Northern Lights. That looks like the coolest thing. I'm actually doing the LUMINOSA 2 weeks in July, so nice. I'm super pumped about that. I haven't been to Alaska since Anita and I's honeymoon, so yeah, it's been close to 20 years, and so I'm super excited about this.
I think that's depending on what part of are you going at the end of July or
July 6th through the 20th?
Yeah, I think so. Toward the end of July, you might be able to see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, I guess we're just gonna miss it then. Just a shade too early, just like
we were there. I mean, I guess it depends, but we were there through August 15th, I think it was, and we missed them too. So, but of course, it just depends on a lot of things.
Right. Yeah, and I will as I get closer. The thing that I guess is a little much a challenge with Alaska is you have all these different ports, and obviously, I guess a difficult thing about Alaska is, at least on the Caribbean ports, if you don't want to spend a bunch of money, you can just find a beach somewhere and get a couple drinks and you're good. Alaska, you're not going to the water to swim, unless it's on the boat, because you're going to freeze to death. So, I mean, there were a couple places I remember Anita and we were able to get off and just walk around, and it was beautiful. We went to Sitka, which isn't one of the ports that we stop at on this Carnival cruise. And there was like a national park there. And that was one of the coolest days ever that I remember. I mean, I saw a bald eagle that was like 5 feet above my head in a tree, just chilling. Salmon were swimming upstream by the thousands. I mean, I knocked a couple of them back into the water that were flopping around dying, because they were so packed in there, they were knocking each other out of the stream. And yeah, I mean, it's just, and then like the iceberg thing, when you cruise the iceberg channel and you're just parked in front of the iceberg, obviously that doesn't cost anything. Those moments are all free. But when you get into the ports, it's like a port almost every day.
Yeah, Alaska is very expensive. I mean, the cruise maybe not so much. It was for us because we've just left from San Francisco, which I guess that port is everything's more expensive in San Francisco. But yeah, I mean, between the excursions, the food, the drinks, just everything combined, it was a very pricey trip. But we wouldn't take anything back. It was absolutely amazing. But I would say instead of like the beach, if you were trying to do it on maybe a little bit cheaper, like definitely do like hiking in state parks, stuff like that. Because we did do quite a bit of that as well to try to break up, because the excursion prices are insane. Like any of them, like they're all at least $100 or more. Some of them are, thousands of dollars depending on which one. So.
Right. So yeah, so that's the thing, like I'm going a week with Anita, and if I'm going to be spending all the money, obviously I want to spend the money on the excursions with her, but then I'm going with a buddy. But obviously I want my buddy the other week to have a good time and experience, Alaska for all the things that Alaska has to offer. I don't want him to be cheated out of anything as well. So
right.
I got to figure out the money situation for Alaska for sure. And Z was just saying that he's going on the Jubilee.
Oh, nice.
So that will be, that's Derek's got a big group cruise with Island Time on that one. So So how about your upcoming cruises? I know, Josh, you said you have one in March and you're planning maybe 3 or 4 others.
Yeah, so we're heading on the MSC Seascape March 5th out of Miami, and we also have the Booze Cruise in October. That's on the Carnival Glory out of New Orleans. We're definitely going to catch at least one, maybe 2 Norfolk cruises. Hopefully that August one that you're going to be on, Coach, will be on there. And we got to hit Royal one more time. I mean, man, we really love sailing with Royal.
Do you gamble at all, Josh? You or Chassis?
A little bit, not a lot. We'll do a slot pull or two, and I'm a coin push kind of guy. That's kind of my speed is the coin push. I don't get up on the craps table or anything like that.
Yeah. No, the only reason I ask is because Carnival has given away some insane deals. And I've talked to several people that really aren't that big of casino players, but they're giving out deals now where, it's like $100 per person. That cruise that we're doing August 5th out of Norfolk, I'm almost embarrassed to say it because I don't want to like people to hate me or whatever, but it was $100 per person for an extended aft balcony. Port fees, taxes out the door was just barely over $500 for 8 days on the Carnival Magic, an extended aft balcony. I'm like, you can't pass that up. Not only that, but then they give you $200 onboard credit, and I might even get a couple $100 in the casino. I forget. I know $200. So I mean, basically for like $300, you're getting an 8-day cruise. I mean, and then they give you like 3 other similar offers. I mean, I have an interior over Thanksgiving on the Celebration. And and then the Luminosa, this ocean view for, same type of deal. So, I mean, the casino is definitely paying off. You might not be winning money, but it's paying off in other ways, at least, on cheaper cruises. So for those people that do dabble a little bit, I would say the slot machines, that's the fastest way to get points in their casino or whatever. Hopefully you win some money. And I don't want anybody chasing me down saying, damn it, Coach, I lost $1,000. It's all your fault. I was trying to get cheap cruises, So I'm just telling you, they're giving them out now. Don't go throwing all your money away in the casino or whatever. I don't shoot the messenger, but I have been getting some great deals. And I know Christy, who's going on I think she said was it the Glory? She's in New Orleans now. She's a big casino player, and they're giving her free stuff all the time. So they do give you some of it back. So how about you, Andrew? What's your cruise?
We just announced we're going on the Carnival Magic March 5th, 6th, something like that, out of Port Canaveral. It's a 6-nighter going to Grand Turk, Amber Cove, and Princess Cay, which is amazing because we literally don't have to spend any money at all 3 of those ports, and they're all beautiful. It's going to be technically it's Rhett's birthday because his is on the 9th of March, so we'll be in Amber Cove for his birthday, but Michelle's birthday just passed. Mine's next month, so this is like a 3-for-1 type thing. We're not doing presents or night out or whatever, so we're just instead saving all that money. And the cruise was actually fairly inexpensive. We don't do casino either, but just from doing so many Carnival cruises, I think they gave us like $500 of onboard credit and reduced rates. I think Rhett to sail was like $69 or something like that, which was awesome. But all in, it was probably over $1,000 though, so we don't get as good of a deal, but but we're also not in the casino at all. And then after that, it's kind of up in the air. We have a couple of things that we want to do, but depending on finances, and Michelle has to get approved for time off because it's still towards the end of her school year because she works in the school system. But right now we have the Carnival Pride booked for 25 days in July of next summer out of London. So we're doing back-to-back on that ship. The first is 9 days, and I think the second one is either 14 or 15 days. It's going to Iceland, Scotland, Ireland, a few other places that I can't think of off the top of my head. But we're trying to either add on to that and do another back-to-back-to-back cruise, or we might do the first sailing of the Venecia from Barcelona over to New York. So, but that's the one we got to get approved for time off. So we'll see.
Oh, well, that's the one Derek's going on.
Yeah, and the rates are really not bad at all. It's just obviously the flight to get over there, and then I think the cruise itself is like 14 or 15 days, so it's a lengthy one. So we'll see if we can make it work.
He was saying they got flights for about $400 some odd a person.
That's not bad, but he lives near a major airport, right?
Well, no, he lives in Arkansas. So what he's going to do, he's going to fly to Chicago Midway. They have some vouchers, I think, with Southwest that'll get him to Chicago. And that's why I'm picking him up at the smaller Chicago airport and driving him to the large international airport out of O'Hare. So yeah, that might be a possibility. You might want to message him and find out.
I'll look into it because we're obviously Myrtle Beach Airport's the closest to us, and it's tiny. So we always have to fly somewhere else to go anywhere pretty much, unless it's like, New Jersey or New York or Connecticut. So it's always a struggle, but sometimes we just drive to like Atlanta or Raleigh, Charlotte, one of those, major airports. So we'll have to look around, but first she needs her approved time off, which will probably not come for a couple months still. So
I gotcha. All right, gentlemen. Well, thanks so much, and congratulations again to both of you for your success in the channels. And for those of you that joined us late, Andrew is with Funnel Heads and Josh is with Moonlight Adventures. Andrew and Michelle just hit 2,000 subscribers, and Josh and Chastity with Moonlight Adventures just had 1,000 subscribers. If you haven't seen their channels yet, go check them out. I'm obviously Brad with Coach Cruz, and Sadie over here next to me, looking for another treat here at the end of the show. But thank you, gentlemen. Everybody enjoy your NFL football that's going to watch it.
Guys. Thank you so much.
Josh, your shirt and logo looks amazing, by the way. Your new merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah, they did good work. So, we used Fever is who we used. I didn't know they did logos and stuff. Somebody told me about it. So
who was it, Josh?
It's the Fiverr, Fever, however you say it.
Oh, Fiverr. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was like $60, and they did all those. They did a bunch of different renditions for us. They did great work.
Nice.
Yeah. They've done some stuff for me too. Not the one that I always use, but I've got a couple of their logos that are just black and white that I may use in the future, but I did them as well. Yeah, and they're not too expensive either. You can get it
not at all.
$40, $50, get yourself a logo made up. They have different vendors and things like that that'll make it up. But yeah, thanks a lot, everybody. Everybody have a great week. I'll be back. I expect to be back Tuesday at 7 p.m. my normal time. I know this was an unscheduled one, so those of you that did take time out to watch, and those of you that'll watch it on replay, appreciate all of you for checking it out, and go check out Funnel Heads and Moonlight Adventures if you haven't done so yet. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Always good watching or talking to you guys.
All right, thanks. See you guys.
Y'all.